Retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position.
You're not like.
Retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a.
$7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
I liked beer. I still like beer. But I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once, shame on you." You fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Force the vote, sure, was a failure.
And where it should have stopped is at the deal standpoint when they thought about it.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. I got hairy legs. I got hairy legs. That I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. Used to come up and reach in the pool, son. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down.
all over the place. Coming all over, coming all over the place.
I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of the Goddamn. I'm here, folks. I'm alive. Once again, I'm alive. So I've woken up. I've awoken, and then once I woke up, I decided, you know what I'm gonna do? You know what I feel like doing? I feel like drinking some coffee. That's what Woo! Mike Silver, commies lost all around the world. Forbidden now under criminal penalty in many European countries, just like the Nazis. Yes, the last time people thought communists and Nazis were the same. I'm sure it won't go nearly as badly this time. I'm sure. I hope to God, because the last time, a major historical moment, where people thought Nazis and communists, were the same, We want to give everyone healthcare and food and housing versus I want to murder everyone who's not white. Pretty much identical. So, not good times to be living in. Folks, I've got a situation here brewing with these cables. We've got some cable. There's some cable. Maxie! Max is Roman. Yeah, that's right, I'm looking at you. That's right, I see you. That's right. Okay. Got that dog. Got the fucking dog. Got the fucking dog. All right, folks, so we got a show here. Got a program. My hair is stuffed in my hoodie because I just put it on because I'm cold. I'm actually cold. It is, there's snow. Where I am at this moment, there is snow on the ground, and the snow is emanating coldness because that's how it works. Max the dog is really trying to kill me right now. This is... Just get the goddamn ball and be done with it, Max. Thank you. So, it is cold. I am cold. We are all cold, just like the heart that I have. It is cold. We've got Catherine in the chat, folks. Isn't that incredible? So anyway, we've got a show here lined up. Got a goddamn show lined up. Got Mila in the stream. And we got Paladin in the chat, folks. There you go. There you go. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. That is crazy. All right. Who is Jan Niffen? Who's Jan Niffen? Who's Jan Niffen? Squawk Box. Why is Jan Niffen coming out with pro Walmart advertisements? And why do I know that is a thing? Oh no. Hello, Patty! What's up? We got Bilb. You got goddamn Bilb. Goddamn Bilb. We got Bob and Bilb. We got fucking Bob and we got fucking Bilb. What a goddamn show. Hello, Max. Hello. We got Bob and we got Bilb. Now we can start the goddamn show. I'm petting the dog right now. He is dogging it up. You can make a fucking sitcom, Bob and Bilb. And Bob comes home, hey, Bilb. Bilb is like, hey, Bob. Fucking Bob. Alright, anyway, that's not funny. But what is funny is the fact that there's a show going on. Folks, at 11 Eastern Time, I will be having a guest on. Mr. Jeffrey Waldorf. I don't know if his name is actually Jeffrey, but I'm assuming it might be. Jeff Waldorf of, I believe the show is called Around the Nation, with Jeff Waldorf is the name of the show. Now, personally, I don't believe in nations, so maybe this can be an interesting conversation. Jefferson Waldorf, there you go. So, y'all asked me in the chat. I was requested to do more shows with other people, and then someone went and begged other people. They pleaded in their chat rooms, please, for the love of God, come on Andrea's show. She is so amazing, and I love her program. And then Jefferson Waldorf was like, okay, and then now it's happening. So there you go. Now it's goddamn happening. So we got some coffee here. God damn. God damn. What a world and what a time to be alive, folks. It is February 18th, 2022. Y'all might not know this. Y'all might not know this, but you are in the presence of one of the greatest gamers of all time, folks. You are in the presence of one of the greatest gamers of all time. So I want to share with you a speed run that I did of Wolfenstein 3D. Again, greatest gamer, one of, if not the greatest gamers of all time. It's 12 seconds, folks. I'm forcing you to watch it. Check this out. Look at this. Look at this beautiful movement. Look at that. This is incredible. This is a world record, folks. This is the best in the whole world. Look at that. That's the best in the whole world. Getting back into Wolfenstein speedruns, folks. Again, I'm not all talk. You know, I'm not just looks here. You know, I'm not just like the most beautiful motherfucker in the history of motherfuckers. I'm not just the most funny and, you know, person that's ever existed. I'm actually a world record speedrunner, folks. And so you should respect me. You should just respect me in general. I mean, I deserve it. And, you know, go watch my videos of video games. Video game videos. Gotta go watch them. So we got a show here, folks. We got a show. Oh my god. We got a goddamn show here. All right. So what kind of show should I do today? Should I do one of those weird shows where I'm just like, whoop-oo! Should I do one of those shows? Or should I, like, what kind of show should I do? What do y'all think? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, my computer was slowing down for a second there. It was goddamn slow as hell. So what kind of show should I do, folks? Does anyone have, like, should I do one of those shows? Should I do one of these shows, you know? Oh my god. This chair is uncomfortable, folks. I'm utilizing it. I don't know if anyone knew this, but I've been sitting on a camping chair for the last couple of weeks. Not comfortable at all. So anyway, we got a show here. I'm here to make it special. Goddamn Sal is in the fucking... Goddamn. Fucking Sal. Goddamn Sal. Alright, so we got a show here, folks. Let's start the show. What should we start it with? Alright, let's get the food segment. Alright. You have a special guest, so be professional. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Oh, no. I've already fucked it up. I've already fucked it up. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't fucked it up. But anyway, so we got a show here. Folks, there's inflation. I don't know if you knew this, but the United States of America has an inflation fetish. And we're not talking about inflation in the good dick way, folks. We're talking about in the bad financial way. Top ways to save on groceries as food prices soar, folks. So the prices of food are soaring, and people have less money because this country is garbage and its leaders are trash. And let's be honest, like, I mean, like, we all deserve it. We're all shit, you know, like, Americans are like the dumbest population, like, of any country, right? Like, when you look at the opportunity of education versus the average intelligence, America is absolutely the lowest. One of the dumbest, if not the dumbest groups of people in the history of the world. And we just kind of let our politicians screw with us over and over again. And we just sit there and take it because we're dumb. Like, we, like, so, like, okay, so we look at our politicians, like, have our families hostage, right? Guns to their heads, shoots and kills your mother. Not that bad. Shoots and kills your father. Whatever. Shoots and kills your brother. Whatever. That's basically the U.S. government. They've got us by the balls. They're killing us, our whole entire family, and we just kind of let them do it. So anyway, one of the ways that we let the government fuck us in the ass, and not in a good dick way, folks, is when it comes to food. First of all, does anyone actually know what the fuck is in our food? We have, like, some of the lowest, like, food regulation standards in the fucking goddamn, like established world here, motherfucker. Donald Trump, like, literally slashed food regulations. Last time I checked, Biden hasn't reinstigated those regulations. So, reinstated, I should say. But anyway, so we got inflation combined with poison, combined with dumbass motherfuckers. So let's read this fucking shit. Cincinnati! This is from Cincinnati. Inflation is hitting just about everyone's wallet in the supermarket. Terrence Todd. That's a great name. Terrence Todd. Yo, I'm about to move to Cincinnati. I want to listen to Terrence Todd. Oh, wait, no. No, Terrence Todd's just a random shopper. That's a great name. Terrence Todd. If I ever have a child, I'm going to name my child Terrence Todd. Anyway, who we found shopping at the Oakley Kroger, said for him, milk, bread, meat, pretty much all the essentials are up. Well, first of all, I just want to say, milk, not an essential. Bread, not an essential. Meat, also not an essential. So again, I'm just going to criticize people's food choices because that's the kind of person I am. None of those things are essentials. But, you know, yes, the prices are up. Mary Wright agreed. The price of everything is going up, she said. Dr. Shelley Kirk, a Cincinnati nutritionist, said, I think there's a sticker shock for many families. But Kirk says people can lower their bills by shopping with these tips for saving at the store. So, folks, inflation is destroying us. We're all dying, right? You know, there's a pandemic going on, but, you know, who cares about that? Inflation's the biggest deal. There's actually a poll done. Maybe I'll do this in a separate segment. That the number one issue with Americans is inflation. COVID is like, you know, the 8th issue. Million dead people, but, you know, I'm more concerned with made-up monopoly money. Make a list. Check it twice. You want to make a list before you go, she said. Walking through Cincinnati's Clifton Market, you want to figure out your meals in advance. Kirk says it's important for people to check their cupboards before leaving home so they don't buy items they already have. Another tip, don't go to the grocery store with an empty stomach because that's going to open the door to a lot of impulse buying. Is that 2 tips? Wait, okay, so hold up. So, okay, the bold is supposed to be the tip, but then there's 2 tips in this one. So there's make a list and then don't go hungry. These are 2 tips in one. What the hell? Okay. Avoid pre-cut fruits and vegetables. Kirk suggests skipping pre-sliced fruits and vegetables, which are often 3 times the price of whole apples or melons. With pre-cut fruits and vegetables, you think this is a time saver, but look at the cost. First of all, like, pre-cut apples? Like, is that really a thing? You can't cut a fucking apple? Like, it takes, like, literally -6 seconds to cut a fucking apple. Like, pre-cut apples. Is that a joke? I didn't even know that exists. But apparently there's such a thing as pre-cut apples. There's a go. That's a tip. Buy meat that you can extend for days. Or how about this tip? You just don't buy meat. How's that? So let's just skip this section. Fuck meat and fuck people who eat meat. Say no to sugary snacks. Kirk believes it's best to avoid shopping with children. Yeah, I agree. Does anyone ever go to the grocery store and you see these babies crying? They're like, woo! Annoys the shit out of me, man. It really, like, ruins my vibe. So yes, I agree with Kirk. Do not bring the kids to the store. She claims sugary snacks are displayed to tempt them. Not just the kids, by the way. Not just the kids. They see things at eye level. And these are often not nutritious for you and overpriced as well. That's such great language. They see things at eye level. This is like a haiku. And these are often not nutritious for you and overpriced as well. Kirk also suggests that parents give their kids water instead of sugary juice boxes. Now, this is just like basic, like how to be a parent and not fucking murder your child with stupid ass garbage. Feed your children water. Like, where are we? Right? Like, where are we in this goddamn society where, like, it's a hot tip for kids to drink water? Like, this is like, 2022 USA colorized, right? Like, this is a tip. This is like a little known, like, fun fact. Like, did you know kids can drink water? I don't know. Like, no one really knew that. Like, kids drinking water. That's crazy. I mean, wow. You can bypass the juice boxes and save a bundle. Yeah, fuck the juice boxes. They're irrelevant and stupid. Look for rice and pasta recipes. All right, I like this. Want 1980s prices? Kirk says to look for recipes that use rice or pasta, which still cost pennies per serving. Again, folks, rice, pasta, not bad. Especially if you can get like a whole grain pasta. Sometimes they're very similarly priced to the enriched wheat flour pasta. I would recommend whole grain, whole wheat. Sometimes you can get vegetable pasta. Pasta's big, pretty good. Rice, also not bad. I suggest beans as well. Personally, pasta's a staple and it's affordable. And what you put on the pasta is what's going to make it healthy. Okay. Use old-fashioned money-saving tricks, like drinking water. Use coupons, both old-fashioned paper and digital. Buy store brands when it's essentially the same thing. Stock up when things are on sale. There you go. And that's going to be a money saver, she said. That way you can counter these inflationary price hikes and you don't waste your money. One thing that they forgot to mention here in this article, and this was by, again, media criticism is so important. Like, we live in this society where, like, literally, like, almost 100% of the population is so goddamn dumb that they think inflation is, like, just like, it's like the weather. Like, inflation is a made-up boogeyman, an excuse for corporations to jack up their prices and take advantage of you while you're in these, moments of despair. We've got this pandemic going on. Records amounts of people are dying. Yes, the supply chain is messed up. But also, guess what? They're already price gouging you, right? They're already price gouging you. The prices should be going down right now if this government actually gave a shit and decided, maybe CEOs don't need to make 3,000 times what the average worker makes. These food grocery store CEOs are making extremely large amounts of money. Again, sometimes they're like, 2,000 per, times like what the average worker is making, what the minimum wage is. It's insane. They could be cutting into their own profits. They could be doing like a week of all the grocery stores in the country, free food for a week, like that fucking, that game show where you go, where you go in and get the item, like they could be doing that. Free food for a week, and they would still be making like thousands and thousands of times the average worker. So I need you to understand, this isn't the fucking supply chain. And again, these motherfuckers, these ghouls, these fucking asshole fuckfaces, they want you to think, oh, the stimulus check is what made this happen. You can't have stimulus checks. You can't have college in this country. In fact, we're going to take away high school to combat inflation, right? This fucking country sucks, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like, this country is garbage. Anyone who considers themselves a proud American is a fucking dumpster diving sludge face. I'm going to be honest. This country is shit on my shoes, and it's getting worse every day. In media, right, again, this is all about personal responsibility. I love personal responsibility. I think everyone, theoretically, is a thinking being. Now, let's be honest. There's a lot of people out there probably not thinking, not doing so much being, right? But again, I'd like to think that humans in general are capable of thinking, and therefore I like personal responsibility, and you should actually engage in critical thought and maybe try to save money, because again, there is no one going to save you. The government's not going to save you. I'm not going to save you. Your mom's not going to save you. No one's going to save you. Like, so, hey, do what you can, right? So, like, yes, this is somewhat decent advice, but also, you need to know you're getting fucked over, right? Like, we are all getting fucked over. We're just walking around. Again, like, the American government, the owners of this country are fucking with us. This is like we're playing Saw, motherfucker. You know, like, where you gotta, like, cut your leg off or whatever. That's basically what this country is. It's an elaborate, like, Saw movie, right? Like, we're all in these, like torture machines. We're all eating poisoned food, drinking poisoned lead-infused fucking water. We're all fucking, like, breathing this smoggy, disgusting, irradiated air, and we're all slowly fucking dying, right? And we don't, and like what do we gotta, like, dig into our eyeball and grab the key or something, motherfucker, because this shit's getting out of control. And again, the American government's just gonna keep doing it until someone says, hey, I disagree. Right? But again, 300-something million Americans, and we're all too lazy and stupid and fucking beta fucking pussy little bitches to stand up to 100 senators? 300-something million Americans? There's only 100 senators, motherfucker. Come on now. Come on now. I mean, like, come on. Like, this is like a country. Like, didn't we fight a Revolutionary War or something? Like, what is this, like, where's the Second Amendment, people? Like, what's going on here, motherfucker? I don't know. But anyway, that's how you could save some money at the grocery store. How did this all happen? Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan's bad, but I would argue it started a lot further back than Ronald Reagan. That's just my opinion. But yeah, Ronald Reagan, not so good. When you realize that Ronald Reagan, like, won, like, a 49-state landslide, right? Like, think about that. Ronald Reagan, 49 states in the Electoral College. Could you imagine a scenario where anyone, maybe besides Bernie Sanders, had a 49-state landslide in any modern election? Ronald Reagan, though. Ronald fucking Reagan, the guy who campaigned on states' rights, got 49 state landslide. Wow. Wow. Like, wow. Catherine, I would say that the undoing of this country probably started around Eisenhower. Eisenhower was, like, the last president that kind of, like, cared a little bit, maybe, or at least pretended to. Like, you still saw, like, the 90+% tax brackets for the rich, and all that kind of good stuff. So I would say Eisenhower was maybe, like, you know, in that kind of terrain. But, you know, whatever. It's a useless kind of, who cares? Like, we're fucked. The point is we're fucked. And not in the good dick way. I mean, like, you know, like, if we could be getting fucked in the good dick way, like, this whole experiment would be a lot more tolerable. But, unfortunately. Well, yeah, home. I'm just saying, like the people that would, you know, like, if, yeah, like, they're dumb too. But, like, my point is they should be on our side. Advertising to kids, fairness doctrine, all the safeguards undone by Reagan. It's true. Reagan's no good. However, I counter you this. The Controlled Substances Act, I think, is worse than anything Reagan did. That's just, like, I don't know, man. Maybe that's just because I love drugs, but anyway, so we got a show here today, folks. In half an hour, we're going to be having a guest appearance, folks. You motherfuckers have been screaming and whining in this goddamn fucking chat room. Screaming and whining. Why don't you get guests on the show? What are you, lazy little fucking bitch? You don't, like, what are you, socially anxious? What are you? Look at you. Like, aren't you a professional? You think I'm a professional? So people were screaming and whining. They wanted me to have a guest on the show. And for once, people actually listened to me. I said, get them to agree to it first, you know, because I'm scared. I don't know what to do. But anyway. So we got another story here. We got a story going on. Now, this is something that's very fascinating here. This is very fascinating. This is very fascinating, folks. Normally I wouldn't talk about this kind of stuff, but this is indicative of a very large trend on the right, and the trend is just being dumb, right? So here there is a very interesting Twitter account here called Libs of TikTok, and this Twitter account has a lot of followers, and this is a very large right-wing propaganda machine. They've gotten several people fired from their jobs and harassment campaigns. They've doxxed several people. This is a really bad Twitter account. But this is a tweet that went viral here of someone talking about, this is a transgender man talking about his experience having to be forced into the women's restroom and how uncomfortable the experience was for everyone involved. And now it seems that he is facing a giant harassment campaign from people thinking that he is a transgender woman. So again, folks, this one really, you can read the replies here. I want to play this little, this video here, and then I want to read some of these replies. Again, this person has been harassed, for nothing. This is the exact scenario that right-wingers have been petitioning for, right? Forever. They've said, oh, we need sex-based bathrooms or whatever. So, okay, so here's the story of a transgender man being forced into the women's restroom. Let's listen.
Okay, so I just went to the bathroom again, and this lady yelled at me for being a dude in the women's restroom. Like, I'm a girl. Technically, still. Still funny. At least it wasn't as bad as last time. She was chuckling the entire time she was in the bathroom.
So again, yes, it is extremely funny, right? It is extremely funny that this is the world that we live in, right? Where there is a giant group of Americans that for whatever reason care at all, above 0%. They care any number above 0%. The correct amount of caring, right, about what bathroom people use is 0%. You shouldn't care at all. Otherwise, you have a mental illness. If you give a fuck what bathroom people use, you are mentally deranged. You need to go to a therapist. You have problems, right? So again, we see these bills in all of these right-wing states where, sex-based bathroom, right, stuff. So that results in people that are transitioning and or, quote, fully transitioned, whatever that term means, to the point where, people think, oh, shit, there's a guy coming into the bathroom. Wait a second, there is. And this is, now again, I want to get into these replies here because the replies are really interesting. It's fascinating. Again, this is really good. We can, oh my God. All right. I'm looking for good ones here. When I was looking at this last night, this was before a lot of people came in here to correct the record. But apparently this person has bad teeth. Now, I don't agree. But yeah, so let's keep scrolling. There's some good ones here. There's some good ones here. There's some good ones here. I feel like this will be evidence at a trial in the near future. Now, again, this is this fantasy scenario here that trans people are all pedophiles, right? And everyone can tell that every trans person's a pedophile, and every trans person, right, is trying to assault children, right? It's just incredible. It's incredible to me. I can't find all the good replies. They got buried. Damn, rip. All right. I should have gotten them out there. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this again because this person has been harassed, right, over the last 24 hours or so. Doxing I saw in the replies, but again, I guess all of that's been buried, which is good. But again, I want to talk about this because right-wingers literally, again, this is the exact situation that they advocate for, and they still get offended. Right? So I need you to understand, there's a lot of people out there that might not consider themselves to be transphobic bigots. They might think, oh, I respect trans people, but bathrooms, Personally, I think you're a goddamn moron. I think you're evil. I think you're a disgusting scumbag. But some people like to pretend, right, that they're not transphobic, and yet they support these bathroom bills. And 100% of the time, it results in situations where people are uncomfortable. Now, here's an idea, right? How about instead of caring about what gender someone is when they use the bathroom, right? How about instead of that, we just have gender-neutral bathrooms? Who cares? Who gives a fuck? You want to know why bathrooms are designed in the way that they are? Because of capitalism. They try to make bathrooms as efficient as possible and uncomfortable as possible. That's why you see these stalls where there's no privacy. Right? You ever like go to the bathroom and you can like peek through the cracks but next to the door? That shit's scary as fuck. Bathrooms in this country, right, are designed in the most ridiculous way possible. And instead of working out how to be comfortable in the bathroom, people want to blame trans people. And again, no matter what bill, whatever you're trying to pass, there is no law that will possibly ever result in this fantasy where right-wingers have no trans people in bathrooms because trans people need to use the bathroom, right? So again, there were a lot of replies here last night when I saw this. But apparently all of them got buried, which is good. But also, this is a huge problem because I've been seeing this Twitter account, honestly, is a really big problem because they dox a lot of trans people. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about that because, again, the trans people are under assault in this country everywhere, right? There's I think there's like 20-something states now that have these extremely restrictive bills when it comes to trans people just living, just existing and breathing. And so, you know, we need to realize how this affects real people. And so there you go. No one's comfortable in the bathroom. You're in a public place with your junk out. It takes a special, that's what I'm saying. Like that, I don't use public bathrooms. I didn't use public bathrooms before I transitioned, but I especially try to avoid them now because they're not good. They're not good for anybody. They're not good for anybody. Folks, drinking coffee here. All right, folks, it's time to transition into the seltzer portion of this program. We've got some Kroger brand seltzer, blackberry citrus. Woo! All right, folks. Now this is a story that is not good. Pleasanton police fatally shoot man armed with knife after domestic violence call. So again, media. What is going on with media here? What is going on with media? Pleasanton police fatally shoot man armed with a knife after a domestic violence call. Armed with a knife. You have to shoot someone with a knife. They don't have a gun. You can't run away from them. You can't get a taser, run away from them and tase them or something. No, you have to fatally shoot them. Like, this is police in this country. Now, again, wait till you see the more of the details here. Now, again, but look at the way media reports this. Oh, there's a domestic violence call and a man was fatally shot with a knife. Not, you know, police murder someone. You know, like just think, like, the language here makes you, like, just want to support the police no matter what. Now, let's get into the details here, because the details are what makes this story so ridiculous. A domestic violence call turned deadly. Like, this is like a joke. This is like, you know, like a punchy, cheeky, like, kind of, like, description. Like, to, like, a movie. Right? This is like you're talking about a fucking, like a, you know, like, oh, this is like, you know, like a movie description that you see on YouTube or something. A domestic violence call turned deadly after police fatally shot a man who was allegedly armed with a knife at a Pleasanton apartment complex Thursday afternoon, authorities said. Police released a photo of the knife. A photo of the knife. A new video shows the chaotic moments where the suspect emerged armed with a knife just as police opened fire. What kind of language is that? So the police are opening fire as the man emerges? Like, what? Emerges? The scene unfolded at a complex in the area of Owens Drive and Willow Road after a woman called 911 to report a domestic incident. Around 11:51 a.m., said Lieutenant... said when officers responded to the home, a man inside refused to come out. Authorities said the man was barricaded inside the residence for several hours as they tried to negotiate with him to exit. So let me get this straight. So you can just stay inside of your house and police will just get annoyed and then just kill you. What? Like that doesn't like okay, so the police, their job, right? Protect and serve. That's their job. They get paid by the hour, right? So like why wouldn't they want to be in a standoff for like 39 hours? Wouldn't that be ideal for them? They get overtime, right? So okay. So what? So what happened here is the cops got tired of waiting, went in, instigated a situation where they wanted to shoot and kill him. They just got tired. They got slightly ticked off that they were there for a couple of hours and they said, I gotta go get some lunch. Let's go in and kill this guy. So here's a video here of
better idea of
the
what
situation. Is this the video? Here we go. So as you can see, they're doing this little standoff thing, right? And then they're like, all right, we're going to break into this person's house. And then as they break into this person's house, the person then escapes and tries to run away. Now check this out. So they're breaking into their house through the window. And then they come out the front door, right? And they're trying to run away. Now again, the cops have fucking machine guns, dude. They've got machine guns! They've got fucking machine guns, bro! And they're breaking into this motherfucker's house, and then they're trying to run away. Look, they are literally running away as they are shot, and they stop the video here. So this is where the bullets are starting to fire, and they stop the video. So the person, quote, has a knife, right? And is trying to run away. And the police just murder them. Because they got a little bored. They got a little bored waiting for the incident to resolve itself. So they decide, let's break into this fuckface's house. And then once they've decided to break into the house, the guy's like, oh shit, they're breaking in the fucking house. Let me run out the door. And they run out the door, away from the police, get shot and killed. Now, I think he would have gotten shot and killed regardless if he had the knife, personally. But the knife is irrelevant. Now, it's one thing if he runs at the cops with a knife. That's one thing. Still doesn't make murdering him okay. But he's running away from the police. Now, again, have you read this at all? Anywhere in this article? Anywhere? Is there any text at all that say, man runs away from police, comma, holding knife, comma, shot multiple times with machine gun anyway, murdered by police? Police decide to break into someone's house and murder them as they're running away? Is that the headline? No, you don't know this unless you watch the video. And then look, this is just how the 10 o'clock news. This is on the news, man shot and killed by Pleasanton police Thursday evening after he came out of an apartment with a knife. Again, came out of an apartment with a knife. Not ran out the front door away from police. That's not what... He didn't run away from police with a knife. He, quote, came out of an apartment. You see, these motherfuckers are ridiculous. They are scumbags. This Andre Senior guy belongs in jail. Whoever wrote this article, I guess just them and the rest of the staff, belong in jail. This is aid and comfort to murder, state-sanctioned murder, unconstitutional, illegal assassinations of American citizens, and the media is just like, cool, got another story. These people are gross. He's running, now notice, this is the photo that the media runs. The photo, you can clearly see that the guy is running away, right? You can clearly see he's running away, right? But the knife is front and center. And also, again, why did they escalate the situation? Why did police escalate and decide to break in the fucking window? Why didn't they break down the door? Why did they use the window? We don't know. Wouldn't it be easier to break the fucking door down? I don't know. That's just me, though. But again, they were running away from police. I guess now here's what a witness said. I guess they got tired of waiting for him to come out, so they went ahead and broke the windows. The guy came out, he only had a knife, and they blasted him as soon as he came out. This is what the witness said. A witness was like, yeah, they got bored. And they decided, 3 hours elapsed. All right, we get a free kill. I got a coupon. That's what the cop... Yeah, I got a coupon. 3 hour standoff, free kill. There you go. Who wants it? Who wants it? Who wants the free kill? The man exited the residence around 3:39 p.m. with a knife. Again, leaving out the fact he was running the fuck away. At some point, 2 officers discharged the weapons. What is this language? What is the language here? Okay. So someone comes out with a knife, and then next, at some point, not immediately after, not literally as soon as the motherfucker opens the door, it's, quote, at some point. 2 officers discharged their weapons. Discharged their weapons? No. Here's how a normal person would write this, okay? Confirmed the man exited the residence around 3:39 as he was running away from the police. Officers decided, without any reason and without any hesitation, to fatally murder this man as he was escaping the police custody. Maybe that's how I'd write it. But no, it's just at some point. The officers involved were not hurt during the incident. I wish they were. Authorities are not yet releasing their identities. Why not? They murdered someone. Now again, folks, if I decide to break into someone's house, let's say my neighbor's screaming, probable cause, probable cause, probable cause, and I decide to break into their house and they run out the front door away from me with a knife and I have a machine gun and I shoot them, would I be going to jail? Just curious. I'm not a cop. I'm just a random person. I hear my neighbor screaming. I decide, I'm just going to break into your fucking house. And then they run away because they don't know what the fuck's going on. And then I shoot and murder them as they're running away from me. Is the media going to go like, oh, well, I mean, they came out of the house with a knife, so. The deceased man's identity has not yet been released. The video offers a rare look at a confrontation with police, and it's this is the media. Who wrote this? What was this guy's name? Andre Senior. This is the media. Andre Senior is like, oh yeah, I've never seen police kill anyone before. It's the year 2022. This is my first time. The video offers a rare look at a confrontation with police and is deadly. A rare look. It's not like cops kill 1,000 people every year. That's how many people cops killed. Over 1,000. It averages out to more than 3 deaths, murders a day in this country. It's very rare. It never happens. It's very uncommon that we see a video of police murdering someone for no reason. Very rare. I ran to the window and was like, what was that? And I was like, I think they shot him, said Travis M., an apartment complex resident. Other witnesses said the man was shot immediately once he emerged from the residence. People in the area walked by and gathered looking for answers. Some speculated the suspect may have wanted to harm himself, but did not see aggressive movements on his part. It is not clear who initially called the police to the scene. So again, it's a domestic incident. What does that mean? Like, if this person had, like, his wife held hostage and, like, had shot the kid or something, they would probably have printed that, right? Like, if that's the level of domestic incident here, they would have probably said, oh, yeah. They had, like, you know, the grandparents over for dinner, and then they decided to kill them all, and then, you know. But they didn't. It's just a vague thing, a vague domestic incident. It's very vague. What is a domestic incident? Like a loud noise? What if it was a mental health crisis? What is a domestic incident? Yeah, good thing they killed him. He might have hurt himself. That's so true, right? Like, and again, the witnesses say, and the video shows them shooting as soon as he opens the door. It doesn't matter if he has a knife. Who cares? And again, he was running away from police. This is the absolute state of the United States of America, folks. It is illegal to run away from a cop, apparently. It is, and the punishment is an immediate death sentence. No due process, no trial, immediate death sentence. Max, what the hell are you doing? Max the dog, folks. He's woofing it up. We're having a guest on, folks, in 8 minutes. All right. Eight fucking minutes, folks. Johnny Too Late FTV. What the fuck are you talking about? The fecal matter, so much fecal matter in different colors. What is going on? What is happening? Why are you talking about, did I miss something? The germs. Oh no. I got traumatized at an early age being exposed to one hell of a filthy public restroom. Shit literally everywhere, the walls, the ceiling, and the door. Oh no. But one stall, OMG, everyone, oh no, the germs. This motherfucker's in their own world right now. This guy going through fucking Vietnam. Vietnam fucking flashbacks. Oh no. Get your meat rants out of the way. I think I already did. I'm pretty sure I already did. I think. Maybe. I don't know. Alright, folks. I'm going to vaporize some legal marijuana product. Don't mind me. No, I'm not going to show this because there are kids watching. Alright, folks. See, can I get one more of these in here? What else do I got? Oh, I got some good ones. Queued up for when Jeffrey Waldorf comes on. Your audience is older than you. There's definitely no kids watching. I think one person that watches my stream is my age. I think there might be someone that watches this stream. No, Tyler's like fucking... Where's Tyler? Tyler's like fucking like 5 years old or something. Tyler, are you here? Goddamn Tyler. Like fucking 6 years old in the goddamn chat. Tyler's fucking... I followed Tyler on Twitter. Like, Tyler's got like the best fucking Twitter account. Like, they just like fucking like post like fire emojis in response to like literally everything. It's like I appreciate it too. It's very good. Tyler's like 3 years old. Tyler's like literally like -6. Apparently Trump is going to be testifying under oath. We'll see. I'll believe it when I see it. Tyler's awesome. Yeah, I love Tyler. He's on the spectrum. What does that mean? 5, 6, 3, and -6. Yeah, no, for sure. Am I going to draw Mr. Waldorf? I don't have my drawing utensils on me. The whatever sutra, 60 here. Oh, Lord. 60 where? Fucking 60. My goodness. It's a long time. That's a long time. The autism spectrum. I assume everyone that watches me is on the autism spectrum. Is it possible to enjoy this show and not be autistic? Is that possible at all? Yes. No. I need proof. Folks, I took this test. I took this test called the RADS-R test. I took this test called the RADS-R test. It's like some autism test, and I scored 153. Now, I looked up what like a score would, like what score you would need to be autistic or something, and it was like 50 or 60, and I got like 153. So I am very autistic according to the RADS-R test. So I'm just sharing. I thought I would share that my RADS-R test results. I am more than twice as autistic as the minimum needed. So yeah. All right, folks, got a show here. I'm doing a fucking show on drugs. You got irradiated. Yes, that's right. I got injected with fucking radiation. Like that guy in fucking Japan. Ouchie. God bless your soul, Tyler. Tyler's just been silently watching. You're the only one who's younger than me, I think. Is anyone else? Is anyone else younger than me? I don't know. Maybe Jeff Waldorf is younger than me. Does anyone know how old Jeff is? I don't know how old Jeff is. Speaking of Jeff, I gotta get him in here. Hello? Whoa. Okay. Alright, folks. We're getting a live transition here. This is a live... Hello?
Hello.
Hey!
You hear me alright?
Yes. Alright,
awesome.
I'm gonna set up my camera in a second here.
Sure.
Okay. So... Are you using webcam? I didn't ask about that.
I am.
I assumed. Okay, because I can't see it yet. Okay, there it is. All right. Okay.
Sort of.
So yeah, I'm doing all this live. Because I don't have a producer. I'm my own producer, and I'm not good at it. So please bear with me here.
Yeah, fuck it. We'll do it live.
That's
we'll do
exactly right.
Live.
Okay, so I'm sideways. Okay. How's it going? I see you got the letter hack drawing in the background. That's good.
Yeah. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm just moving stuff around my screen. I got 3 screens. And so there's stuff on each one. And I'm freaking... I think also people can hear you as well. Like, just so you understand. This is live. We have...
Yeah,
okay.
no.
All right. So have you seen my show before? Like, what's your experience with this?
Yeah, I've seen little bits of it.
Okay.
Dunking on right-wingers and, of course, grifters. Always fun.
There you go. Yeah, I remember I found your show a long time ago. Like, how long have you been doing this whole thing?
Oh, God. I've been doing this probably since, 2013?
Yeah.
I've been doing panels, and I did panels for a couple of years, and then about 2015 is when I actually started getting into doing, like, a solo, daily type show.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Been a while.
That's super cool. Just making small talk while I set this shit up. I say swears on my show.
This is probably why I lost all my hair.
What, from the swearing or the show?
From the show.
Yeah.
No, I swear a lot, so I try not to do it as much on my videos, so I don't get my ass demonetized.
Yeah, you can go as much as you can. My thing is I'm all demonetized all the time, so I don't even care.
There you go.
So yeah, the
might
chat
as well
has a
just
burning
run with
question,
it.
by the way. Like, are you younger than 25? Because I'm 25. Everyone that watches me is older than me, so.
I wish.
Okay.
To be 25 again.
That's where I'm at. I'm there right now.
Oh my
That's
God.
where I'm at. I'm gonna make myself smaller. I don't want to be so big on this layout. In fact, I'm gonna be as small as possible. There you go. I don't know if you've got my stream on, but
I do.
Yeah, there you go. This is good for me. This is great. I want to be in fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and make myself. There you go.
Yeah, chatters, I'm watching you. Right. Behave.
Okay, so I'm just all right. I'm having way too much fun here. So I'm on drugs right now. I've been vaporizing. So please bear with me. But anyway, so I've got some stories here lined up. They're lined up, and so I'm just setting that up real quick.
You are super tiny. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
So I've got I'm gonna talk about the Build Back Better bill. Axios has this really good. I don't know if you've seen this one. Axios has this really good. They've got this really good thing. And I'm gonna hold up. Okay, I'm gonna go back to this screen. Hold up. Oh my God, I haven't had a guest on in like 6 weeks. I don't do this. Oh, no.
I don't do guests very often either because it's usually a good conversation, but boy, is it a clusterfuck to get it set up.
Yeah, it's just work.
It is actual work.
And
yeah.
I'm anti-work. That's my politics. I don't believe
anti-work. There we go.
Yeah, I don't believe in it. I refuse.
I'm also anti-work, so
there you go. That's good.
But for somebody who's anti-work, I sure work way too much.
Sucks. That happens. All right, so
yeah,
I got this article.
Unfortunately.
I'm gonna send it to you as well. I should probably have done that originally.
Do it live.
I'm doing it. It's happening. Wait, it might not be happening. Oh no. Okay. Okay. All right, it's happening. All right, so we got this going on here. You should crop your guest's face and fill the whole screen with it. That's actually a great idea. Okay.
That's a terrible idea.
No, it's happening. Well, don't move.
That's a terrible idea.
Don't move. See, this is what doing your own production is good for. Like, this is why this is good. There you go.
Just like weirdo zooming, strange stuff that you're gonna see.
Yeah, this is some great. I'm an artist. I'm being very artistic. At this moment. Okay, that's enough messing around. I hope you're not offended by that. You know, just there's a lot of zoom ins that I wouldn't want to be zoomed in. So I mean, that's some weird stuff going on here. I don't know what's going on. Okay, we're gonna get into the regular politics show very soon. All right, so we've got this bill here, or not this bill, this article here that I want to talk about because it's really this is like the thing that they're going for. With the inflation thing, is they're tying it to you shouldn't expect anything from the government. The government doesn't care about you. And by the way, when we gave you those stimulus checks, that was bad, and so now you got to pay it back, right? So we got this article here from Axios, from some really intelligent individuals, I should say. Senate Dems ditching BBB as inflation fix. So I'm going to read from this, and then I'll go to you when I'm done reading. Several Democratic senators facing re-election are looking past President Biden's stalled Build Back Better plans, ramping up other plans to try and ease voters' inflation fears. So there was a poll that came out that apparently inflation is the #1 issue in America. That's the power of mainstream media. If you just keep saying inflation over and over and over again, Americans are going to go like, well, I guess that's the problem. Why it matters. They're making independent decisions to set themselves up for success in November. Now, again, this is the problem with the media reporting here, and I'm going to go to you in a second here, is this is like, oh yeah, this is the solution. The solution and how we get Democrats elected is to not do anything. What do you think?
Yeah, we have tried nothing. This is the Democrats right now. We have tried nothing, and we're out of ideas. I don't understand. Like, why are our polls so bad? I guess we just have to double down on doing absolutely nothing. This is. I can't believe people get paid as politicians. And let's be honest, this is consultants. This is the donors to come up with this stuff. And that's just ultimately you're running the show, calling the shots. Is you have the donors saying, I don't want anything else to be done for the American people. I want to continue to be able to overcharge them because is there supply chain issues? Of course. Is there, stuff as a result of the pandemic that's making it harder for certain things? Yes. But we've seen numerous examples of CEOs saying, "Oh yeah, no, we raised prices even more than we needed to cover the increased costs of supply, and we're just doing it so that we can make an extra buck because we've already made so much money, but it's not enough. We got to make more."
That's
and
the
we're going
thing
to use
that's
inflation.
crazy, is that like they're already like even before the pandemic, they were already making so much money, like thousands and thousands and thousands of percent on like, you know, the average worker's pay. And like you'd think, oh, like maybe I'll cut my own pay for like a couple of weeks, maybe because of this. No, in fact, they're widening the gap. That's the thing that's crazy, is because like it's the inflation is just magical. Like money doesn't even exist. Like it's all fake anyway, right? So it's like they put like all of this, like, you know, like the you know, Walmart, for example, which I read an article about. You know, they already have this, like, they monopolize the market by making their prices super low. It makes everyone else get out of business, right? Because they can afford the hit. And then they jack their prices up. And then there's a pandemic, right? So then, you remember when the toilet paper shortage happened? That's where, like, they got this idea that if we just don't put things on the shelves as much, we're going to convince people that there's, you know, like there's not enough supply, that we know we need more demand. And then they raise the prices. And then masks, right? Masks have gone up, like, how is this even possible that we're living in this society in a pandemic where masks have gone up like 5 times, right? Like masks are just way more expensive. Then there's counterfeit masks you have to worry about. And this is the same thing. Like I read an article earlier about grocery store tips. Like the media, like this is a new beat for the media. It's like, oh, how can we give Americans like these hot tips to save some dollars at the grocery store? I'm all for hot tips, saving some dollars at the grocery store. But if we're going to not just, you know, talk about the elephant in the room, is that we're being, you know, price gouged on everything. It's not just masks anymore. It's not just hand sanitizer. It's not just pandemic stuff. It's everything. Everything we're being price gouged on. And the minimum wage is stagnant. Wages are stagnant. In fact, in a lot of areas, wages are going down. So it's like, I don't know, like this is incredible to me. And the media, there's this whole apparatus, right? Where the media is just like, yeah, we're going to print these lies so that we can give the politicians cover. And then no one cares. Like, no one cares. Like, it's incredible to me. So I don't even want to bother reading the rest of this because I don't care. But again, go on.
You hit on it perfectly. It's not just it's the greed. That's all it is. It's greed, and then of course you have the news actors out there that also don't want things like Build Back Better. Look, I've given up. I'd given up on Build Back Better a long time ago. It was never going to happen. As soon as they decoupled the bills, you knew it was over.
That was it. Yeah,
because they got the bipartisan corporate handout bill. Billions of dollars in what's essentially pork. And I'm not saying everything in it is terrible. We do need infrastructure. But that is a massive handout to corporations. And no, we're not going to see any of the benefits for years and years and years of, you know, rebuilt infrastructure, which, by the way, some of it gets privatized. So now we're going to have toll booths. We're going to have toll, you know, bridges. Once those are built, none of that is actually going to help the average American, the average worker. I mean, sure, they'll have construction projects, but you also have to pay people to do the construction. And that's been, you know, difficult because they don't pay people enough to do the things that we need to get done anyway. And so what this is that it's just a gigantic pork barrel. And now that they've taken all that money, trillions of dollars, and redistributed it to the top, leaving it, you know, without anyone else. Yes, that is all this money that got pumped into the economy. But it didn't go to you. It didn't go to me. I'm sorry. The $1,200 check. No, the $1,200 check. And then we got, some people got some unemployment benefits, and that's it.
And they're trying to get that back on taxes and all that. They're trying to do this thing where if you don't file correctly, then you... It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And now they're trying to tell the Americans, like, you don't even deserve the stimulus checks, and we're sorry we gave them to you, and you should be sorry because now inflation is good. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's incredible to me. And what you were saying about the infrastructure thing is so important because, like, my opinion, by the time the Democrats could even point at anything in the infrastructure bill, like, it's going to take 10 years to get results. By that time, we're going to be in, like, the Trump fascist, like, you know, like, Reich, you know? So, like, by the time that any of that project can be taken credit by the Democrats, there will be no such thing as a Democratic Party anymore, you know? Like,
I mean, well, and besides, you know, President Kyle Rittenhouse will probably take credit for it anyway.
That's exactly right. And like, and the one big thing that they were doing last year, that like had any chance of being popular that they could run on was the child tax credit. Right,
and that's gone,
and it's gone, and they're like, oh yeah, what, you know, but
you don't understand, Andrea. It was the parliamentarian,
right,
it was a mansion, it was cinema, and we couldn't actually get rid of the filibuster, even though we didn't really try to get rid of the filibuster.
And now we have this senator that has like a stroke or whatever, so they're out. So like now we got a Republican Senate full on. Just
yeah, it just feels like they don't want to do anything, and it's true, they don't want to do anything. They're and they blame it on process, and you see this every time the Democrats get into power, get any kind of power, how suddenly they're just completely helpless. But when we had Republicans in power, well, they pushed through gigantic tax cuts for the rich, and that was their big crowning achievement. And yeah, they didn't get the stupid shit like the wall because they didn't really actually want it. Donald Trump wanted it, his chud followers wanted it, but the business interests were like, no. You understand? We like cheap foreign labor coming in.
Exactly, right.
We like to exploit the immigrants, and so no, we don't want that wall. Fuck that. That's not going to happen.
I love the little bits of wall
wonderful.
Though that like you can just like slip through. Like oh my.
Yeah, the little steel slats, which are fun. The ones that fell down. That's the best.
Yeah. I mean, this whole
beautiful wall.
This whole experiment is running. It's not looking so good. I want to talk about this story next and get into some like right wing douchebaggery. Is that so? I saw this. I haven't read this yet. I read a little bit of it, but I don't know the exact thing. But there's a new bill in Tennessee now that apparently is going to basically just deputize gun owners for like if they take a test. Like they can just take a test and they're basically like, they're just like, yeah. So I covered a story earlier in the show of another police shooting. And every time I talk about when police murder someone, I like to ask an example. If I go to Bojangles with my AR-15 and just start to shoot people, right, and then claim, oh, well, they were running away from me, I'm gonna go to jail immediately, right? Like, I'm gonna go to jail immediately, right? But if you're a cop, oh, they're running away from me, all of a sudden, that's a justified shooting. They were running away from me. Like, was I supposed to let them run away? I had to kill them, right? So, and now we're seeing in Tennessee where they're just trying to give every random gun owner that kind of power. So I'm gonna read this a little bit, and then I'll see what you think. Legislation introduced in the Texas state legislature this month is raising alarms from the state's police union and gun control advocates who say it would turn the streets into the Old West. Two bills in the state assembly and state senate, HB 254 and SB 2523, would amend Tennessee law and designate a person who has been issued an enhanced handgun carry permit as a member of law enforcement. Now, law enforcement, as it is like, there's like the databases need to be publicized. There's not enough accountability, right? A lot of things are enshrouded in mystery. But if you just give random people the ability to be law enforcement there's no public database at all, right? Like, what do you think about this?
Well, there's no way that this can't end well. And by the way, going back to saying like, we're gonna deputize random people. Just give randos guns. Like that's the Old West. Actually, the Old West actually had more gun control than apparently Texas does.
That's true,
and that's
yeah.
like, yeah, and so that's what the shootouts were about. Like, hey, you need to surrender your gun before you come into town. Oh, you're not gonna take my gun, you goddamn body. All right, well, let's have a duel then. Yeah, go. The sheriff's gonna shoot you.
And like, so if you're law enforcement though, like, and you're just some random guy, does that mean you get to use probable cause? Right? Like, what does that mean? Like, oh, someone looked at me funny, so I shot them. Well, probable cause. They had their hand in their pocket. Like what exactly? Like, if they have all
we know what this is about. We know what this is about, though. Officer, you don't understand. He's black. Had to shoot him.
Exactly. And this is in Tennessee, right? Like this is like one of those like right-wing states where you have like all the like, and all like, this is why I advocate, like, if we're living in this country and all the right-wingers have guns, I advocate to at least know how to use a gun if you're on the left, because it's just, just there's so many guns everywhere. Maybe you don't need to own one, but like practice shooting, maybe, because you never know with the amount of crazy motherfuckers out there what's gonna happen. But again, like everyone has guns, and like it's the right wing culture. You see like Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're taking like family photos where their 5-year-olds are holding like machine guns. They're right, and this is like this big thing. And now like they're well, what if we give all of our buddies deputy status and they can basically kill anyone they want, and then they've got qualified immunity. Now again, if you're a left winger, right, and you have this like this whatever it is, right? Are you gonna get that same protection, or are they gonna find like a loophole for that? Like, are you like, oh, no, I'm an enhanced handgun owner, so I just killed that neo-Nazi at the rally. I'm sorry. Well, they looked at me funny. Is that going to be judged in the same way than if it's the neo-Nazi at the Black Lives Matter rally, right? And this is just another thing that gives judges more power, because at the end of the day, enforcement is the only thing that matters. The laws are just suggestions, right? You see this case in Florida. I don't know if you've heard of, I believe his name is Daniel Baker, the anarchist who posted on Facebook, we need to defend ourselves if they're going to start storming our capitals, and got like 5 years in prison, right? And like, that's more than most of the January 6th insurrectionists, right? And he didn't even do anything. He just posted on Facebook, hey, maybe we should have guns too, you think? And again, it's the unequal enforcement of the vague words that give judges all the power in the world. These Trump-appointed judges, these right-wing douchebag judges. And again, they're going to be the ones making these decisions. So whenever, like, you know, a lot of people like to discuss these bills and like the whole, like, well, what if it's the left that does this? But it doesn't matter if it's the left that does this, because the left will always lose. The right is in control of everything, and the left will always lose.
You're absolutely right. I forget what his name was, but there was another left winger who was shot and killed by police for having a gun. So at a protest, and so it was one of those things where the Second Amendment doesn't apply to the left. Unfortunately, we're in that situation. We're in that world where you have all the cops that are right wingers, and then you have all the
voted for Donald Trump in 2020. 80%.
Yeah.
Also, 40% beat their wives.
Yeah, and a lot of the, not surprising, and a lot of the gun owners are right. I'm not saying them, you know, they're all right wing, because again, there are lefty gun owners as well. But you have a massive majority of gun owners that happen to be right wing, along with the cops. And so when you have that situation, and you see it all the time, by the way, when you have armed black men, for example, Philando Castile is the best example that you can come up with. Legally armed black man gunned down in his car by a white cop. He did not have Second Amendment protection.
He told the cop, by the way, right, he did every step like perfectly, and was still murdered for no reason. Yep. It's incredible. And again, like, you see a lot of these cops are hired like right out of high school, like they have like no social skills, like they're weirdo loser nerds, right? Mm-hmm. And like they don't know how to like communicate with people. And then they also come from these, like, a lot of the cops like that patrol these big cities and stuff come from like rural areas where like they went to a school that's like 80% white, and then they go like into like, you know, a city, right, that, you know, is a lot more diverse, and they don't know, like they have no experience with people that aren't white, so they're just scared of the black people. And it's incredibly, it's just like, and this is the system. This is fine for people. I want to read this little quote here more about this bill. As introduced, expands the definition of law enforcement officer to include a person who has been issued an enhanced handgun carry permit, provided that the permit is not suspended, revoked, or expired for purposes of authority to carry a firearm under certain circumstances. The summary for the bill reads on the blah, blah, blah. There are currently 686,348 active enhanced handgun carry permits. So, like, that's just a way, and it's also a way to not pay them, too. Like, that's another thing. How can we get more racist cops to kill a bunch of black people for fun and then not have to pay them? Right? Because we already saw that Biden has 3x'd police funding. What the? Right? Like, you know, the party of defund the police, according to the right, 3x police funding, but okay. Right? But that's not enough. They want even more cops with less regulations, less oversight, and it's just, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's hurting us towards the police state. Or, well, look, you could already say we already live in a police state. And it's a right-wing police state.
Absolutely.
Where they have, and of course, where you have the government that does have spying powers, and they're more than happy to spy in on and crush, you know, left-wing protests. And it's funny because you can really make a parallel to the trucker thing that's going on in Canada, or any of the right wing protests that happen here in America, where you have right wingers that their protests, nobody, like none of the cops, like the cops support these right wingers, and they're on their side and allow them to do these things. But when it comes to water protectors that are protecting, against like these drilling companies that are destroying indigenous land, they'll crush them. And so I always get frustrated when you have people that are lefties or supposedly on the left that are like, no, the trucker convoy, we need to protect them, because what if they come after the left? Where have you been? They've been coming after the left the whole time. And you know who has not been on our side? Who has not defended us at all? The right wing. The right wing that some of these people say we should be friends with, we should ally with, we should stand in solidarity with the right.
We could do a whole nother segment on the trucker convoy if you want, because I have a lot to say on those dumb motherfuckers. But yeah, this Tennessee bill, no good. In summary, no good. In fact, I would even go as far as to say it's really bad. So I'm gonna go with that. But yeah, let's talk about the trucker thing though, because this is something that's big, and I haven't talked about it much on my show because I was kind of ignoring it, because I knew it was going to be a thing, but it's like, do I really want to talk about this? Like, it's just another example of right wingers being obnoxious. But now it's gotten to the point where it's like it's beyond it's beyond obnoxious. And so like, yeah, what is your take from the top on the trucker convoy? And what, there's a lot of people on the left, wink, that want to support it. But like, how do you feel about that whole thing?
I mean, this is a right wing. Look, okay, so let me just start with this. The organizers of this are not actual truckers. They're members of right wing organizations that have put this together and now are trying to shill crypto. I mean, this is what they're in. Okay, this is what they're doing. That's who they are. They do not represent the majority of Canadian truckers. The older truckers unions.
Yeah, like the main organizer is like a neo-Nazi. Like he went to like Nazi rallies. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah. He was a counter-protester, if we're talking about Pat King, counter-protester at an anti-racism rally. Well,
right.
Gee, if you're counter-protesting an anti-racism rally, what does that make you? It makes you a racist. That's what that makes you. And so, and you have other people that have little ties to neo-Nazi groups. I think it was like the something of Odin or Hammers of I don't know.
They have
one of
these such
right-wing
cringy
groups.
names like that.
I know.
That's one thing about Nazis that they always have this like the Third Reich, like they're this great continuation of Western. Like there's no Odin. Like what are you playing, Final Fantasy, motherfucker? Like come on, like it's so ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, hey, if you defeat him, you might get some good drops, maybe.
That's true.
I don't know. But the whole thing is, again, just right-wing, reactionary, not even... They say that their main purpose is like, oh, we got to defeat the mandates, right? What they actually want to do is, yes, they don't want the mandates, but that's a secondary goal. They want to dissolve the Canadian government and jail Justin Trudeau. That's really what it's about. And to, of course, expel Indigenous people, because they claim themselves to be Indigenous, by the way. We're Indigenous. We were born in Canada, and so we're Indigenous. That's not how it works, buddy.
That's facts.
Yes, you're a naturalized citizen, but you're not an Indigenous person. And by the way, going as to how the Trudeau government and the Canadian government has treated actual Indigenous people versus how they treated the convoy. I mean, the police handled the convoy with kids' gloves, but once again went after peaceful Indigenous protesters with an iron fist.
Yeah,
and
there's like videos of like Ottawa police like high-fiving these people and like bringing them like water and stuff. It's and people think American police are the problem, but it needs to be very understood that it's globally, like just the idea to be a police officer. Maybe there's someone who might think that, oh, I'm going to be a cop and they might be a good person. They might want to do something, right? But let's be honest, right? They're not going to actually, that's their goal, maybe, 2% of the time, if you're lucky. But is that actually done? Are they actually going to help people? probably not, right? Like, so, and that's the thing, but it's like mostly just like a way for these right wingers to like just have like to feel good about being the high school bully, right? And this trucker convoy thing, and I want to like focus on these like weirdo left wing like they tell us they're left wing, but you know, where's their money come from? These people online that like, you know, like there's been like, I don't know, like we could talk about this a lot, but like, you know, it all started with this like force the vote bullshit. Then all those people became like anti-vaccine, like Looney Tunes, like crazy motherfuckers. And now they're like doing this like pro trucker convoy because what if this happened to the left or something? Like, you know, it's just like it
already has.
It
already has happened to the left.
It really is. Like, I really genuinely think, and one of the big things about this, again, is the American billionaires funding the trucker convoy. Like, American billionaires are interested in using this as, like, a story to distract from other things and to maybe, you know, like, it fucks up the supply chain even more, can help inflation. They can scrape back their money on that. And this is just a project for the right to make money off of. And that's why you see a lot of these left-wing podcasters talking about this in such a positive way because they're making money. They're falling for the game. They're their own little capitalists in their own little world, and they're like, oh, well, I can make money if I pretend that I'm a left-winger who likes the trucker convoy, and then like you see like the Jimmy Dores of the world getting thousands and thousands of views off of this shit, and it's just it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, and to me, like I don't know, like you can be somewhat critical of the emergency powers invocation and how that's being used.
Which I am.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like I think it's a little weird that they're targeting like accounts that donated $25. That's my big thing.
Right.
Like I would just
That sucks,
I would rather just like target the people's accounts. You know, I would rather target the companies involved. I would rather target the organizations. Right. That kind of stuff is my main thing. You know, because there's a lot of people again also that are just swayed by disinformation, and that's another problem. Is that we live in this society where people are born and bred to be dumb and they don't know how to read the media, so they're thinking, you know, like, oh, well, freedom's under attack. I like freedom, so let me donate to this GoFundMe, right? And if they get their bank account frozen, that's no good. We need to find ways to combat disinformation as well, because that's what the right has been thriving on. Like this idea that there's mandates that are crushing the economy, and so the answer to that is to crush the economy. I don't know. It's strange. It's strange to me.
It is very strange, and that's an excellent point. But like, you know, let's go back to the police, right? For a second here, and the police have been very, very much on the side of these protesters, and so you've seen a very, very soft hand. And so here's the thing, right? You have the situation where I guess Trudeau believes that he needed to do the Emergency Powers Act, but in reality, you don't need emergency powers. You need the police to do their job. Supposedly do their job.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you don't, if these cops aren't doing their job, they need to be removed. They need to be fired. You don't need to give Trudeau additional powers to do these things because, I mean, again, it has and will be used against the left. So, you know, and so that's the good argument against the emergency powers and also against the police and also against the truckers. Who are once again right-wing reactionaries.
Too, is that like this Emergency Powers Act? I found out about it because like it went on Twitter. It was trending like hashtag Canada has fallen. Like everyone's freaking the fuck out, and it's like it helps the right-wing disinformation thing.
Yep.
I agree. Like we don't need the emergency powers thing. All we need to do is have the cops do their fucking jobs. Like does Canada have federal police? Like why? I've seen Canada abuse the shit out of Black Lives Matter protesters. I've seen them, like, you know, use water cannons on Indigenous protesters in, like, sub-zero temperatures, right? You can't do that on these protesters. Now, again, you know, it's ludicrous. Like people love to pretend, like, and the right will love to, oh, it's liberty, it's freedom, but there's no liberty, there's no freedom, motherfucker. There's, like, it's just, and like, you see a lot of these trucker companies, like, the actual companies are like, we're not doing it. The unions are like, we're, we're stepping away from this. We don't agree with this. All the unions, all the trucker companies are all like, we don't want anything to do with this. It's like, it's organized by neo-Nazis, and then you still see these people online, like, I get commenters on my videos, like, oh, you're an authoritarian. I thought you were an anarchist. It's like I'm being like, you know, wanting people to get vaccinated against a deadly virus makes me an authoritarian. Okay, sure. Like, it's just like this all these like like we're in this world where people are like, no one can have like an actual conversation with someone else. Like there's all these like these buzzwords and these like litmus tests that don't make any sense and that like, you know, people forget about from major story to major story. It's just I don't know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think some of that, you know, definitely is on purpose to keep people divided against what's really going on. I mean, essentially right-wing corporate rule. That's what we live under. A little bit less so in Canada, but certainly here in the United States, we have corporations, we have donors, and we have politicians that are only out to try to get as much money as possible from the people, and to, you know, if they gotta crush actual people's liberty, which is not what's happening with the trucker protest, they're gonna do it. They're gonna find a way to do it, and that's what they're doing. And so I'm always wary about giving, you know, a president or a prime minister any more kind of executive power to do these things, because we usually know how it's going to end up. And so, you know, I'm very wary of that. And once again, you have the right wing that is shepherding us down this hole. And it's not a good place to be.
It's really bad. Yeah, it's no good.
That's the theme of the show today.
Yeah,
real bad. Not good.
Everything is bad. The show is bad. Also, this is a horrible show. I hope you're entertained. So I noticed you've got like that YouTube plaque behind there.
Yeah.
How do I get one of those?
100,000 subs.
I don't even have 10,000. This is a problem. Can you give me some of yours? Like, can you just give me your plaque? Like, I'm just, you know. All right.
Yeah, you got to rise and grind.
I've been trying. I don't know. Have you noticed that there's there's a conspiracy theory that I happen to believe in? The left-wing media on YouTube is being suppressed. Have you what's your sub growth? Because I'm at 0% sub growth in the last 6 months. I have gained none. I'm at the same.
This is a widespread problem. Actually, look, I'm in the TYT network, and we're seeing it everywhere. There's not a lot of sub growth because videos are not getting out to new people. And I've talked about this before, how the algorithms have changed that direct people to mainstream media, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, which is insane, because if they really cared about fighting against misinformation, why would you direct people to Fox News?
It's ridiculous.
Of all places.
It's ridiculous.
Of all places. Yeah. And again, MSNBC is also quite bad as well. And so, you know, what you have is small independent channels that are just being, suppressed and kept down by these automated systems, these algorithms that just direct all new traffic. And that's the thing. There's subscriber churn, of course. And that's what we're seeing. Like, sometimes we'll get like 5 new subs, and then like the subscriber churn will be like -20, right? Sure. Closed accounts or people doing that. And then sometimes you'll have some slow growth. You know, I think over the last year I had like 1,000, which normally, you know, in the years preceding it was like 3,000 to 5,000.
Sure.
A year. So it is happening, and it is algorithmically driven. And I think a lot of it stems back to the reaction from, I don't know if you were here. What was that? Adpocalypse is what happened.
Right. Yep. That was the beginning of the end.
It was the beginning of the end. And so YouTube is just not good for any sort of growth anymore. On, you know, if you're independent news, there are other places that you can go, but once again, they will all end up running into the same kind of problem.
Yeah, it all boils down to like, you know, who made these algorithms? They might not necessarily be right wing, right? Or at least they might not like apply that label to themselves, right? But like they might be apolitical or like, you know, a centrist or whatever, but that is inherently right wing. And there's this report that was done, I think it was on Twitter, that it was like, if like, you know, that if they would have accurately like, you know, reported accounts like for being like neo-Nazis or like for promoting neo-Nazi conspiracy theories, like half of the Republican Party's Twitter accounts would have been removed, and they're like, well, we can't do that. Right. And this is why, like, I don't have guests on my show often or whatever, but I really need to like maybe try to do that more, because it's really the best way to get more growth is that, if we have people rotating and doing, because that's what right-wing media does. They'll have all their little tours, everyone will have like, it's a carefully curated schedule. So definitely need more of that on the left. And I'm going to start that with advertising myself. So I got another article here that should be very, very entertaining.
Yeah, let me just say one last thing too.
Go for it.
There's a company bias as well. Lefty content creators are like, oh hey, let's hold corporations accountable, and the corporations are like, let's not.
That's correct.
So what it comes down to.
That's exactly right. Like, we're like, that's the thing. It goes back to the truckers. Like, the left is always in the worst possible position all the time, right? Like, no matter what. And that's why you see a lot of these like so-called left-wingers just parrot right-wing propaganda, because that's the only way for them to get any growth at all, and they just sell the fuck out to the machine.
Yeah, because once again, there's absolutely no money on the left.
That's true. Because like leftists don't have money. We're all poor motherfuckers.
It's true.
All right, I got this story here that I thought I saw the headline on this one, and this is very entertaining to me. As a radical atheist myself, I'm not sure about you. I find this to be very funny. So let me read this one. This is whoa. I just did something really bad on my screen. Okay. Michigan County caves to secularist pressure over holding prayers before legislative meetings. Isn't that weird? I thought we lived in this country that had like no state religion. I mean, hey, like you can have whatever religion you want, right? But like I always thought it was strange, right? That whenever you go to a county meeting, they do these prayers to God. They stand up and all stare at like a cloth thing in the corner, and they put their hands on their hearts and they go like, I love this flag. I will die for this flag. I will do anything for this flag except take a vaccine.
Except for get a vaccine.
Yeah, it's like so. And so I love this headline here from Fox News. Michigan County caves to secularist pressure, right? Like it's really good. So I want to read a little bit of this and then I'll go to you. A Michigan County board stopped holding prayers before legislative meetings last month, and a Christian conservative legal organization argued that the board caved under incomplete information from a secularist nonprofit, despite the Supreme Court's repeated approvals of longstanding practices. The Lee-Laniu County Board of Commissioners voted 5-2 in January to remove the prayer portion of their meeting and replace it with a moment of silence after the Freedom from Religion Foundation, FFRF, which advocates for atheist agnostics and promotes the separation of church and state, sent them a letter in September urging to end the practice. I would prefer just no moment of silence, just like get to the business. Like, I want to get home. I don't need to be sitting here for an extra 3 minutes. That's just my opinion. But anyway, what do you think about this?
Well, first, it's lean law. So
Thank you.
Just an FYI on that.
Thank you.
I love what the Freedom from Religion Foundation does. I do. I think it's great. We have a separation of church and state in this country, and we're supposed to, which means, simply put, no religion in your government, and no government in your religion. Can you imagine, right? That's the foundation, one of the foundations of this country. And so it's ridiculous that we even had a situation where, you have people that have to, do the prayer or whatever, listen into the prayer during, official business. That's not what it's for. If you want to do church, go to church. Leave the church out of the government. Yep. I love what they're doing.
Yep. And this is like the same thing that happened with schools. Like all these weirdo morons are like, oh, they took prayer out of schools, and that's why
Jesus
everything
is out of school.
Like I don't know about you, but I think there's a lot of problems in school, and prayer being removed is probably not on the list of problems I would solve.
Right?
Yeah, it's just incredible. Let me see if there's anything else. In response, the First Liberty Institute, a law firm dedicated to defending and restoring religious liberty. Again, defending and restoring religious liberty, aka enforcing it on everyone else, right? Like that's the ultimate liberty, is where everyone has to deal with us and we don't ever tolerate anything anyone else does. That's liberty. That's the definition. Wrote its own letter to the board dated Tuesday over concerns they ended the practice based on an inexcusably incomplete information and legal analysis. And then we got this guy here. I like that guy.
Literally in the First Amendment. Like, what kind of analysis can you get for that?
The guy who wrote the Declaration literally ripped up the Bible and made his own version. Like, he wrote the Declaration of Independence that started this country, and one of his projects was making a scrapbook based on ripped up pages of the Bible, right? So it's like, it's incredible. But anyway, do you have anything else about that one?
The reaction here, like, I can't believe you're infringing upon my religious liberty. Oh, really? Are you able to actually go and pray whenever you want? Well, yes. Okay, are you actually able to go to church every Sunday or whenever you want? Well, yes, of course. I'm able to do that. Okay. So, but what about Ahmed over there? Can he just?
I would love to see.
Will you be okay? Will you be okay with Ahmed saying, what is that? Allahu Akbar.
Sure. No, yeah, I would love to see that in like one of these county meetings, like during this like moment of silence, or like let's say like this is one where they pray or whatever, right? I would love to see, it's a moment of prayer, and then like what would happen if a Muslim started praying, right? Like everyone in the room would freak the fuck out and they would call the cops, right? Like and that's the thing. It's like, it's so obviously like they use these words like liberty and freedom, and they don't mean anything. And then there's like a whole portion of the country, right, that just goes, oh yeah, liberty, like yes, that's my freedom. It's like, okay, if you want to pray or whatever, that's fine. Yeah. Personally, it's not for me. Like if I'm going to a county meeting, I want to get some work done. Like the idea that we need to pledge to the flag at a county meeting. What did we forget what country we're in? I went to this county meeting and it's in Canada. I guess I accidentally went to the wrong county. Like
the whole thing is the whole pledging allegiance to the flag too. I mean, that's like super weird for one. That's North Korea shit. And we're not supposed to be North Korea here. Or China, I guess, if you want to say that, right?
Or Nazi Germany.
Yeah. That's another great example. And so we're not supposed to be that. And by the way, fun fact, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the whole pledge thing was actually, especially when they added the under God.
Oh yeah,
that was
I think that was done in the 50s
the godless communists.
Right. Yeah. And it's still there. Like I remember when I was I'm a radical atheist, right? So when I was young, I didn't stand up for the pledge because of God. And I almost got into a fight over that at one point, but that's a fun story. But again, like it's incredible. Like the fact that people just like blindly like worship like a country or a religion, to me is astounding. I personally, my brain doesn't work that way. But the idea that they're going to simultaneously advocate for liberty while enforcing that on everyone else. Like I want to go to the county meeting and talk about like the goddamn like parks and recreation budget. I don't want to be listening to your 7-minute diatribe about God and country and how the world is amazing, right? Because it's just like it's on top of everything, it's a waste of my time. Like I want to get things done. I want to work. I'm like I got a life here. But again, it's
and just one more point about like how for them freedom doesn't mean anything. I did a story yesterday where I talked about how, I believe it was Texas, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick decided that he would like to actually ban critical race theory from colleges. It wasn't in K through 12. And now they're like, since we banned it in K through 12, now we're going to go after the quote-unquote loony Marxist professors at UT and ban them from teaching critical race theory, which again is an optional college-level course. No, we're going to ban it anyway, because we don't want anybody to learn it. And yet they say that this is, and this is like the best part, Patrick is running like a think tank called Liberty.
That's doesn't mean anything. It
doesn't mean anything. The words don't mean anything. That's all it is.
But like if you go to college and you want to learn about the economy, they're going to tell you that the invisible hand is like law of physics, right? Like, you know, it's like you got gravity, you got black holes, and you got the invisible hand. Like it's just, the tide goes in, the tide goes out. You can't explain it. It's just the way the world works. Right, but that's not, like, if there was, like, a Democrat that advocated for, like, legislation to ban the invisible hand theory from colleges, I wonder what the reaction would be. Right now, obviously, a Democrat would never do that, right? They love the invisible hand.
Authoritarian Marxism.
Right,
how dare you?
It's so obviously demented in every way, shape, and form, and these people are just, like, it's incredible that they honestly, like they can get up in the morning without aid or comfort, like, you know, like it's like they can just walk around, like, and they're driving. This is something I love to say, these motherfuckers are driving cars, like we give them a license to like operate a several ton death trap, right? Like that's just normal. They drive cars. Like, can you imagine? Like, this motherfucker thinks liberty is when you enforce your religion on someone else and you let them drive a car. Like, to me, that's just incredible.
It's the hypocrisy right there. It's just so glaringly obvious that you'd have to be blind to it not to notice, or you just intentionally not actually care about what the United States is supposed to be founded on, not care about, you know, the First Amendment at all, unless of course it applies, you know, only to them and their quote unquote religious freedom, which just basically means hating gay people, hating trans people, and pretending that racism never existed.
Yep. It's definitely Looney Tunes for sure. All right, that's pretty much all for the stories. So if you got like 10 more minutes, does anyone in the chat have questions? Let's do an open AMA. Well, not me. Don't ask me anything. Ask everyone else everything. Yeah. So are you a gamer? You're a gamer, right?
I play some video games, yes.
Yeah, what kind of games you playing?
I you know what? I love MMOs. Okay. I get stuck in MMOs. I like RPGs. I do, you know, like open world games. The only things that I don't get into much are roguelites or roguelikes. Yeah, I know. Or sports games or racing games.
Okay. I've been playing Path of Exile. That's an MMO. You ever play that?
Okay, yep, I played that.
Yeah, new league came out, and I'm level 87 or something. You know, it's pretty good. You know, it's a good game.
Yeah. You tried another ARPG that's Grim Dawn?
I've heard of it. People have recommended that to me. I'm more of a retro gamer. I've been speedrunning Wolfenstein 3D lately.
Yeah.
I've been getting into that. I haven't ran that game in like 6 years, and I've been getting back into it, and it's been a lot of fun. Retro gaming for me, I also collect PS1 games. That's my big thing. I want to have a complete set of the PlayStation. I'm like halfway there, so it's pretty good. But prices for that has gone up. That's the real inflation. People talking about like Rice Krispies at the grocery store. Have you tried buying Rayman on PlayStation? That's some inflation right there. Let me tell you. We got a chat question here. What music do you listen to?
Basically anything but like. I'm not a huge pop fan. Not really. And it really depends on the song, but. There's some genres that I just are not interested in, and mainly that's like country.
Oh yeah, country's horrible. I mean, I've got people in my family that listen to country, right? So it's like when you walk by their room or whatever, they're like, "Oh my god!" Or if you're, God forbid, you're in a car with them for more than 5 minutes, oh my god, and you want to jump out the window. I've considered like, what if like I've had these intrusive thoughts where it's like, what if I just open this door? We're going 60 miles an hour. Just open the door, take the seatbelt off, and hope for the best.
It's all the same theme too. It's like, oh, you know, they're like America, great. I got my truck, and I got my gun, and I got my flag. And then the other ones are like, my wife left me, and my truck broke down, my dog died.
Six-pack.
And then I'm gonna go drink at the bar, and the beer's flat. I'm like, okay, I'm not at all interested in this. This is terrible.
Right. That's right.
Now, let's to be fair though, if you go back, OG, you do have, and this is what country used to be when it was actually good, because there was a time in this life that it was actually good, and that's when they were repping union workers.
There you go.
Like old school Johnny Cash. who had a song where basically he was taking parts from the factory to go build his own car, stealing from the man.
It's a good car.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't, it turned out with a whole bunch of different parts and kind of weird, but it worked out. And then, as Tyler Heckner points out in the chat, 9 to 5. So I think what was that, Dolly Parton?
Yep, remember they got censored pretty hardcore. Where was cancel culture back then?
And then, speaking of cancel culture, you remember the Dixie Chicks for speaking out against the Iraq War. Yeah, so cancel culture, once again, right-wing. Right-wingers, the OG cancel culture.
We got a recommendation, Eileen Jewell for country, so maybe that's another...
Okay.
See, we're getting educated. This is why it's good having a chat. You can say, I don't like country, and then you got all the country fans in the world telling you to listen to all these people.
But it is like, I'm in favor of, pretty much it's anything that's working class, regular people, like, that's good. But I'm not at all interested in your fake patriotism bullshit, pro-war, like, weirdly, unironically pro-imperialism, America's great and it's the best that's ever happened since sliced bread and all that, and it's just the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
And we can do no wrong.
No. I mean, music is a big part of culture, and that's why country is so big on the right, and it's like an infusion, right? Like that's how they get the power, and music is just a powerful tool, and so when you weaponize that with propaganda, it can really do a lot of damage. So we have another question. Where do you see the U.S. in 5 years?
Status quo, essentially. I mean, essentially, I'll see it as basically the same as it is now. You still have corporations, the rich getting richer, the poor getting poorer, feckless Democratic politicians that have done nothing and will do nothing, and the continued slide towards the right wing.
Yeah, I'm 5 years, though. I mean, that's what, 2027? I feel like we're probably going to be under a military junta by then. I mean, that's just me. Let's
Maybe
be
I'm
honest.
too optimistic.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, the one thing that I can see... let me just say the one thing that I can see about corporations in corporate America want stability, right? That's the biggest thing that they want. They want stability so that the spice will flow, right? And so, all right, military takeover, right wing. That's by the way why so many people were against, or so many companies were openly denouncing, the January 6 rioters, even though they do still fund the politicians.
All of them, and
they donated all of them. And the reason that they do so is because, they're still going to cut our taxes. They're going to cut our taxes. They're going to deregulate our industry. And the Democrats, supposedly, will do the opposite, even though that Joe Biden gave up completely on any of that. Because they never really meant it in the first place.
That's right.
But once again, going to the point where they do like stability, and overthrowing the government, kind of unstable.
I mean, we'll see though. I feel like the corporations will just go along with it if it. That's
as long as they're in business.
Yeah,
as long as they're in business.
As long as
it's like a
we
clean
open everything
transition.
and we allow everyone to not have any money, but then also give us all their money, and then we can raise the prices, and I think they would go along with that. I mean, look what happened in Nazi Germany, right? A lot of the corporations just were like, yeah, this is great, But I've got another question here. Do you smoke weed?
I do not. That's incredible. I have ADHD, and so I'm already unmotivated as it is.
Right, I feel that.
And so I don't need anything that's going to chill me out, because I'm already too chill. And
sometimes though, if I smoke weed and drink coffee, I will turn into a machine. But have you ever tried it?
Nah, I haven't really tried it. I don't have anything against it, though. I think we should absolutely legalize it. And I don't care if you do it. It's just smoking's never been my thing.
It's all good. It's all good. Does anyone else have questions here? Do you have any questions for me?
I see another one. Do I have kids? I do not.
That's a good question.
Yep.
Weed helps ADHD, according to Daniel Johnson. Well, give us a study. Yep.
Yeah, I haven't
now
seen
everyone's going to
anything,
bully
but
you
actually-
and peer pressure you.
I actually did look into seeing if it did, and I didn't see anything that really was a strong endorsement of doing that. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll stick with my Adderall
There
for
you
now.
go. I mean, there you go.
It works. It does work.
True.
Let's see. I do have cats. Ravaging Wolverine. Yes. I'm looking for a couple here.
Oh my God, Environmental Coffee House. Good for you for not having kids and procreating in this screwed up world. Environmental Coffee House going full doomer. Oh my God.
Somebody's got a black pill going on here, but you know what? I don't blame people for doing that with all the negative stuff, and I'm sure you probably feel this too, right? It's hard not to get black pill when you cover all pretty much all negative stories.
That's why my favorite game is Doom, because I'm a doomer.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it's really hard to keep a positive outlook, especially for the future when, I don't know, the ocean catches on fire at least once a year now. Sometimes twice a year.
The air catches on fire. We just have giant plumes of like lava flowing through the atmosphere. It's great. Like there was that fire in Colorado that was just a couple sparks flew off of a tree and then boom, 100+ buildings are down. We got one more question and then I guess I'll wrap up here. How did you start out as a commentator, Jeff?
Well, I started out I face planted into the whole thing. I had no idea when I was younger that I was actually going to get into doing political commentary. But I actually started watching, news channels. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Stuff's going on here. And I didn't know about any of this stuff. And so, it started out like watching, kind of embarrassing, but MSNBC back in the day. But it was like Ed Schultz.
Canceled.
It was Ed Schultz, though. And it was Cenk Uygur. From TYT, and so those are the two commentators at the time that I was like, oh, okay, because Ed Schultz used to have Bernie Sanders on all the time, and I'm like, I like what this guy's saying, I like this guy, is that Bernie Sanders? And then you had a Cenk Uygur. Oh, that guy says some stuff that I agree with, and then I started checking out that show online, and then I mean it just kind of snowballed from there, and then I went on a panel show once, and I was like, oh, this is really fun, having conversations with people, and then it just went on from there. I went from being on panels to hosting panels to then hosting my own show, and then asking to be, or having them, TYT ask me to be in their network and taking over one of their channels and doing what I do, and it's just.
And
that's
all
what happened.
Culminated in you coming on the Above It All live show. This is it's the domino.
It's peak. It's peak of my career. I can quit now. I can
exactly.
That's
what I've been saying.
Retire.
I often every time. That's why it's so hard to get guests on, because I get them on once and then they retire because they've already done everything.
We've hit peak. Yeah, we've hit peak. There's no higher direction I can go.
I personally disagree. All right, thank you for coming on the show. If you want to come back on, it was great to have you. I could prepare a little better next time. And if you want me on your show, that'd be cool. I don't know if you've got a hard exit here, but I'll let you go. All right,
well, again, thank you for having me on. It was a fun conversation. Look forward to doing it again.
All right. And you can mail me that YouTube plaque. I'll send you my address, and you can send that over. Thank you. All right. Y'all have a great one, and I will see y'all tomorrow. I'm talking to everyone, including you. So I'm leaving. It's over. It's done. It's over. That's it. And exit.
In case you don't know, and you haven't seen the latest polls, the American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. They hold this institution in contempt. They hold the Republican Party in contempt. They hold the Democratic Party in contempt. They think that maybe, given all of the crises facing this country, it's about time that there was some bold leadership here and that this institution made some hard choices.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the vote. Everybody comes in your grandmother. Everybody comes in your grandmother.
It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio. Make sure the television. Make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone. Make sure the kids hear word. The record player on at night. The record. Make sure the kids hear word. The record player on at night.
You know, I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.